Blind as a bat was Marhall Jew Bob when it came to one legal part of his job. Twice a month it occurred, on the 1st and 15th, when arrest warrants from the South were received, naming people he knew whose morals were clean, in Nome, but whose actions below were obscene. Wearing a badge in the North is quite odd because of the landscape, weather, and frauds. The Bering Sea's frozen from September to June, leaving felons free to whistle a tune, until the backcountry streams their ice load ungirds, and miners stampede east like a buffalo herd. Once out of Nome, there was a great throng of gold seekers with sluices, pans, and long toms. The men scrambling inland leave you no doubt. You break the rules here, you'll never come out. Beyond Nome to the Canadian border, there wasn't much law, but plenty of order. If you proved yourself unwilling to change the behavior on warrants on which you were named, summer, winter, springtime, or fall, you were told to beat feet or the hatchet would fall, and you would be shipped to the prisons outside, where escaping was rare and most inside died. In Nome, if you could not keep your nose clean or committed acts which were considered obscene, you were sentenced to serve the town for a while, reducing logs to splinters on the city's woodpile. To keep you from running, your boots were sequestered, and in summer, clouds of mosquitoes did fester. As ice began forming across Norton Sound, Marhall Jew Bob began making the rounds. First came the collection of cash from the folk who wanted the derelicts gone from the north. The cash was then used as the ice sheet thickened for one-way passage south, so-called blue tickets. The curse of the law is knowing the truth, but not having the right to go beyond sleuth. Because when a man of law goes bad, there's not much to be done, so sad. And there are certain outrages you have to absorb and live with the bile and/or drop overboard. At one time, a deputy man of the law was Wilson Meisner, who chose to outlaw. He once hit a bandit and, with a smile, refused to admit it, and all the while stashed 40,000 of Canadian cash and refused to give up his ill-gotten cash. Marhall Jew Bob got news from the east that two hooligans had pulled a deceit. Scurvy Bill, along with Two-Tooth Mike, had purloined the gold, then taken a hike, hot-footed west as far as they could go, and holed up in Meisner's cabin in Nome. A posse was formed, but it came with a flaw. To be legal, it needed a man of the law to guide all their action and record the whole deal, so no other bandito would try the same steal. So Meisner went along with the charade and joined the posse at the head of the parade. Meisner, a step ahead of the crew, salted a route for the men to pursue. A trail of blood led to an abandoned abode, where Meisner, alone, to the front door strode. Armed with a cigar and nothing more, he boldly kicked open the log cabin door. Hailed for boldness for his cabin advance, no one in the posse considered the chance that Meisner had played them for Scurvy Bill and Two-Tooth Mike, who went over the hill, and neither was ever heard from again, or, for that matter, the payroll Canadian. Marhall Jew Bob was nobody's fool. To follow the money was his forensic rule. Scurvy Bill and the man with two teeth did not leave Nome with the money or wreath. Therefore, the gold was where they'd last slept, and the boldness of miser was a clue to theft. Money, like fire, is an excellent slave, but if a master takes you to the grave, the same can be said of the bedrock of law. If it doesn't work for you, it's a duplicitous maw, which gnashes its teeth in the direction of wealth and corrupts the ethos of everyone's health. Meisner left Nome supposedly broke. Oddly, it seems, Lady Luck then awoke, and Meisner bought land in southern climes, leaving to wonder if justice was blind. But no one had proof to Meisner impugn, so all was just talk in the Bonfire Saloon. Marhall Jew Bob is from Steve Levi's book, Bonfire Saloon. Bonfire Saloon is available at Author Masterminds, on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and everywhere good books are sold. Bonfire Saloon is a Readers and Writers Book Club selection.